serious. Beats be the eeriest. Hand on my balls, the boys in the hood know my style like furious. I fight dirty, I'm Ike scurvy. I slap a bitch, it's obvious like blood on a white jersey. Don't go and have an accident. Christ passionate, you little boys invite me to spaz. I'm right on your ass.
Guys, what is up? Welcome to another episode of Maximilian Must Know. Got a good one for you guys today. This one is from the house of David Yurman, and it is called Limited Edition Parfum for David Yurman. Now, you guys know before how I do before we break down a scent. If we've never talked about the house before, we got to get some context and explain the brand. And so before we talk about this limited edition fragrance, let's break down the house. David Yurman is a pretty high-end jewelry design company. You know, they're not on par with like the Jacobs of the world or the Ben Ballers or the Mr. Flawless, but still certainly like higher end than your mall brands like Zales or other chains. They are headquartered in New York City. It's a family-owned and operated business. They have 18 boutiques across the USA, and 4 other boutiques internationally. David Yurman was raised in Long Island, and he started making and selling little sculptures in high school cafeteria. And later he went on to be an apprentice for big sculptors, and eventually he went to Big Sur. And at the time in Big Sur, there was a really big beatnik movement going on. It was sort of before, when he got out there, the hippie movement, and it was more about the beatnik generation there. But in the late 1960s, he met a woman named Sybil Kleinrock, and eventually Sybil became his wife. They moved to the countryside, and they started a company called Putnam Artwork. And basically through that, they really started an exploration of jewelry, and eventually in 1980 they formed the company David Yurman. And really what blew David Yurman up was a piece that's referred to as the cable bracelet. And that cable bracelet has been copied a million different styles and materials since Yurman introduced it. They introduced it in 1982, and since then, you know, that bracelet allowed them to venture into other areas, do watches, do jewelry, do eyewear, and do fragrances. And so they entered the fragrance world in 2008. They formed a partnership with Clarins. Clarins, I'm sure you guys have heard of. They have partnerships with a lot of other houses, including Azzaro, Terry Mugler, and Porsche Design. So they're very thorough. And Yurman currently has 6 fragrances under their name. I own this one, and I own another one from them called Exotic Essence. Exotic Essence to me is a little bit more feminine leaning. If you look on Fragrantica, it is for women. I saw it at TJ Maxx one day, and you guys know I like to have something from every brand in my collection, and the notes on that one included peach, vanilla, and amber, so I went with it. I don't dislike that one, but I feel like it's a little bit feminine leaning personally. This one, which is called Limited Edition Extrait de Parfum, came out in 2011 as a limited edition, and this one really is the last on my to buy list from the house, but you never know, maybe they'll introduce something new, and I'll take a shine to it or be interested. Thankfully, guys, this one can be grabbed online for about $35. Now, when it came out, it was $275. So $35, and it was limited edition. So I have a feeling, I could be wrong about this, that when all the testers are gone, this one's going to disappear. Again, I could be wrong about that, but I don't think they're going to. I don't think a lot of these sold at $275. Like the Yurman name at that price range, I don't think it has enough clout in the fragrance game, and that's why I think you're seeing them for the cheaper price. I think, I'm actually pretty sure this only comes in one size, which is a 75 ml, and it's extrait de parfum, and the notes on it are going to be geranium, saffron, coriander, and raspberry at the top. In the middle, you're going to get jasmine, oud, typh rose, and violet, and in the base you're going to get musk, sandalwood, vanilla, and suede. Now the bottle for this, I wish I had the box, because the box is supposed to double as a jewelry box. The bottle for this, certainly it's like the $30-$40 price range, is easily the best bottle I've ever seen in my life. And in terms of fragrances that are, you know, Raja Dove and the really high-end fragrances, I would put it at least on par with those. It's unbelievably heavy. It's like a brick. It's literally like holding a brick, which makes me wonder if the David Yurman, where you see the Yurman, the clear piece isn't crystal, lead crystal. Now, it probably isn't, because I know that would be really expensive, but it is so heavy. You do have tester very squarely, sticker on the back. You have the sticker on the bottom that announces it's Parfum Extrait, and you have David Yurman etched in the front. It comes with this, the tester bottle. The cap has the gold cable print on it, and the atomizer works really, really well. And again, this thing is a beast in terms of how heavy and solid it feels. Easily, maybe the best bottle in my entire collection, just in terms of a quality bottle. I love this, and it's beautiful to display. It's really a piece of artwork, the bottle. And I'll tell you guys what, this doesn't just look like it should cost $275. It smells like it should cost $275. I don't know that you could spend $35 and get a better all-around package. At $275, I might have balked at this one, but at this price point, it is a no-brainer. Now, this gets compared to 3 cents online. The first is an attar by Amawash called Tribute Attar, which I've never tried, so I can't comment on it. Also, I can't comment on its comparisons to Valentino's Oud Assoluto. I can't comment on that either. What I can comment on is its comparison to Tuscan Leather. And I'd say I see that, but I'm not sure it's in comparison I would make. I think what happened is that a bunch of perfumers or companies found this molecule or material that has a suede and raspberry aroma. Some people liken that aroma to cocaine. And I think that molecule or that material has been used in a lot of different fragrances, from Tuscan Leather to Black Saffron by Byredo to Sea for Men by Clive Christian to Goat Dolphin by Parfum de Marly. And that note or material is in this fragrance, but it's heavily joined by some other notes, really, for me, rose and oud. And you guys know that I'm at a point in my life now where rose and oud combos make me sicker than Drake songs, but like, I like it here, and I like it here so much because it's meant to survive on its it's not meant to survive on its own. It's really heavily supported by the suede and the berry and even some violet, and there's some saffron there because I think it's a rule that rose and oud have to have saffron in it, but that's okay. This is really an amalgamation of all those different notes, and sometimes when it's hard to pick out individual notes, that can be indicative of like cheap materials, but I actually think here it's indicative of a superb blending. I'll say something else here. Anyone who's thinking of spending a couple $100s on a high-end oud scent should look at this one first, because the quality of notes here for me is at least as good as anything that I've come across at any price point. Now, I will say that it is a bit linear. As it dries down, what sort of creeps out is some vanilla and sandalwood, and then it really just, the dry down is really like a light oud scent with suede, vanilla, and sandalwood. That happens after about 10 hours, because this one, on my skin at least, is a performance beast. Projection and longevity are fantastic. It leaps off the skin. It lasts for a very long time. It's a unisex fragrance. If you enjoy Tuscan Leather and if you enjoy oud, this one's going to work for you, and it's cheap enough where if you don't like it, it's not that big of a deal. I would say this is a 3-season scent, too much for the heat. But on spring nights, you can pull this one off. And for me, this is a dress-up scent, or what I would think to be an excellent date scent, and a really impressive one at that. If you're unable to get this, you missed the boat on it. Comparisons, a lot of people say Tribute Attar, some people say Valentina Oud, Tuscan Leather. It actually reminded me of another oud fragrance I have called Roberto Cavalli Oud Edition, and that has the oud with the saffron and leather. But I would say this is fairly unique. You know, there are fragrances that smell like it, but in terms of it as a whole, there are pieces of other fragrances that smell like it, but as a whole, it's pretty unique. I think if someone were trying to talk you into purchasing this, they would tell you price. You cannot get a better scent and presentation for $35. It's sophisticated, good materials were used in this one, and it comes off as a very high-end fragrance. I think if someone were trying to talk you out of purchasing this one, they might say that you're not going to get the box with it, and it probably wouldn't be worth the $275 price point if that's all you could get it at. So if I was reviewing this at the $275 price point, this would probably be a 6 out of 10 for me. I would say there are other scents like it for less money. At $35, this is a 9 out of 10 for me. The only knock here is that I don't have the box. And as a collector, for me, that's a bit of a bummer. The box, as I said, is supposed to be really special and double as a jewelry box. So I would have paid an extra 20 or 30 bucks for the box, especially as someone who's a fan of David Yurman design. But that's neither here nor there. If you have a large and expensive collection, there's a good chance you probably have a couple of fragrances like this, and maybe there's no need to add it to a huge collection. But on the flip side, if you count your pennies and you're really thinking about every purchase you make and sort of want to get your niche fragrances at a premium and at a lower price, then you got to take a look at this one, because you're really not going to do a better job getting a sophisticated oud scent for that $30-$40 price range. So there's that, guys. Hope you have enjoyed this review of the Extrait de Parfum by David Yurman. If you have any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer. You can always reach out to me at maxmno@gmail.com or leave a comment. I'll see you guys next week with more videos, guys. You know what it is. My name is Max.
One of the illest, the realest feeling. Competition isn't existent, cause I got venomous dictions. You should toss your mic, is my advice. You expect me to be scary cause you talking hype. I'm